Good enough. So, basically, what we're looking at today is the annual renewal of this contract for the economic development and part-time economic development, part-time planner. And if you can just kind of give an overview for the audience and the people at home, and just state your name and just kind of give an idea of what you do here.
Okay. I'm the my name is Jerry Coogan. I'm the planning consultant for economic development and community planning. And I have two functions. One, I work with the Milton Economic Development Committee, and I try to follow up with potential developers who are interested in doing something here in Milton. For example, we had Danny Boziani, who developed the Dunkin' Donuts shop. Across the street, Mike Nye, who wants to do a restaurant. We're working with him. We're trying to get his development to look as nice as Dunkin' Donuts if we can. And then we're also trying to work with businesses in Milton to have an outreach program to go meet with them and see what their interests are, what their needs are. I meet with commercial industrial brokers from time to time and tell them about the properties we have in town. And then we're trying to update the web page and make it a little bit more user-friendly. And I work with partner organizations like New Hampshire Department of Resources and Economic Development. They have an economic development division. WEDCO, which is Wentworth Economic Development Corporation, and also Eversource. They're interested in economic development. And on the planning side, I maintain regular contact with the planning board, trying to work on the master plan as time permits, and we've done an update of the land use chapter and the vision chapter, and we hope to maybe do another chapter or two in 2016. Trying to work with the CIP committee and help them any way I can, and keep the planning board updated on the changes in zoning that may come around, and point out areas where zoning changes are needed. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
Okay, now I know we talking about the CIP, that's not gonna make it this year.
Right.
We're shooting for next year on that, make sure we get it right. Where are we with that, as far as where are you with that, and their input with that?
Well, I think we have a draft document that's circulating around, but we really haven't been able to complete it in terms of getting all the projects together, find out what the best funding sources might be, maybe a bond or maybe a lease payment or whatever. So it's a work in progress. But I think the committee, which consists of the police chief, the fire chief, and other people, public works, want to take the time, do it right, get it done professionally. And I'm kind of helping and trying to add what I can.
Okay. And the master plan, that's gonna fit into the master plan, the CIP, or is that a standalone document?
It's a standalone document, but it's one of the planning documents that should be done. The land use section and vision section that chapter is completed. And I want to meet with the planning board probably in January, February, to figure out what do they want to do next in terms of chapter update. Maybe community facilities or natural resources.
When do you think that document be done, master plan? I mean, I know.
How many chapters are
Yeah,
there?
I'm not sure. They're consolidating a lot of it, I know that.
Yeah.
Because it was very in-depth, let's put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, you can do like 14 different chapters if you want. If you want. But, most communities kind of focus on economic development, which we did maybe a couple years ago with the strategic economic development plan. But community facilities, housing, transportation would be some of the key ones. But the planning board has to decide, what do they want to tackle and which one do they want to do in 2016. So.
Okay. Any questions, anyone? Have a planner or?
Are there some specific examples of how those positions benefited the town of Milton in the last 2 years?
As specific examples, we've got the Dunkin' Donuts that, he did work on it, it was turned over to him, he did work with him on that. We got the Dollar General, that he's worked with them on that.
Curb cuts.
Yeah, getting curb cuts, things like that, so.
Right now we have a developer who's interested in doing something, Chuck Ferrio, and I'm trying to work with him. He knows he has to do the legal research for that property that the town owns. He's in the process of doing that. I think he should have that done maybe in a couple of weeks. and then have a conceptual meeting with the planning board probably in February.
Okay. Yes, John?
My name is John Calvert. Would I be out of place asking what the contract is per year?
It's
Dollars?
$7,500 for the economic development and $7,500 for the planning. It's $15,000.
15.
Originally, he was hired just for the planning, but then there wasn't enough there to keep him busy, so that's why we gave him some more stuff to do, and we split it.
Oh, wait, excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm not done.
Oh, sure.
What's the forecast look for the next year? Are we gonna be needing services like that?
I think we're gonna meet, there's an ongoing need for services like that. Development. So I think it's something that's gonna be ongoing and, to keep up with not just the master plan, ordinance changes, zoning changes. And I know there's been some zoning changes going down through town, if I remember correctly, that we're looking at.
Yeah, well, one deals with the official zoning map, and that might be a zoning change. There's one with the wetlands conservation overlay district.
Yep.
Well, I guess I'm not completely up to speed on this, so I shouldn't be speaking out of turn, but I do have some concerns on this.
Yep. Okay. Steve?
Would it be appropriate to ask what this project with Chuck Ontario is? He's bogged down in some of his other projects.
Well, that's the town owns some land that they took for back taxes or non-taxes, and he is doing some research to figure out who's the owner of that. He has a surveyor and a lawyer working on it. And that would free up land that he owns in the back of the property to do some development work. The selectmen have had a meeting with them. There's a development agreement or understanding that has been put forward and agreed to, and he's got to do a site plan, he has to have a bond, they have to do a lot of other things. I'm aware of the history with the particular individual, and we'll just see if he performs or not, if he's able to do what the selectmen want him to do.
Right.
He may or may not be, so it's,
Mr. Brown?
That, yeah, one of the, Larry Brown, one of the things that I had suggested was a rescission and non-flipping clause in his use of that parcel, so that he did not come in and basically, the other issues are that we have Granite Bridge, massive development on Route 11. We have the expansion of natural gas and sewer to Market Basket on Milton Road. We have massive empty and for sale properties along the industrial commercial corridor of Route 11 in Farmington, which is a massive industrial commercial arrow pointed away from Milton. At one point that fits in with what John is saying. Another point that fits in is what Devin was saying. And when Suzanne my wife worked as a legal assistant, lawyers billed to the 1/6 of an hour. That was a 10-minute increment of trackable, billable time and content, letters of record, and summaries of case law research specific to the issues that the client wished covered.
I know we do get a monthly report from Jerry on what he's done that month. So we do get reports on it. I mean, it's not quite the same thing as legal, but so we do. Anyone else? It's up to the board.
Does this have to be decision made tonight?
His current contract expires the end of December.
Yeah. What's your pleasure, guys?
Chairman,
Yeah?
well, I agree, we need that link that Jerry provides. However, I know it expires at the end of the month. I would ask the board if we could hold a special meeting on this one particular item before the end of the month.
We do have a special meeting next week, actually, on Monday, the 28th, for encumbrances.
So can we bring it up then?
Yeah, all right,
If you wanted to.
I'll second that.
all right. We'll review it on the 28th.
Okay, I have a commitment that night.
Yeah.
I don't think I can be here that night.
I mean, we heard from you, just, you know, they wanna read the contract over and see what thoughts are, so I mean, I think it's
So I
necessary.
don't have to be there for that?
I don't believe so. Unless you guys,
No?
no? Okay. Oh, here, hang on to it, yeah. So, we'll review it on the 28th then.
Okay.
Make a decision. Okay, Chief Kraus, grant and check. Not necessarily in that order.
So, we received the Freeze Foundation, the same grant that we applied for a couple years ago that allowed us to get the, we got tasers with this, we got new holsters and lights for the firearms, and we got a couple other things through that. We applied this year to allow us to increase our mobile data interface in our cruisers. It allows us to do certain checks that we currently cannot do. We currently run them straight through Stratford County Dispatch. The issue that we're running into is the more that law enforcement continues to have more calls and be busy, it ties up the radio a lot. This allows the officers to do a lot of those things on their own and puts the information right at their fingertips instead of having to wait. It's instantaneous to us.
Okay.
So the amount of the grant is $2,360. We were approved for the grant. Just need your permission to accept it.
So we'll make a motion?
Yep, I'll make that motion to accept that grant for 2,000.
$360.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you. Okay, up next, Pat, Gold Street.
Okay, Pat Smith, Public Works Director. I received a letter from Town Hall here
Yes, sir.
that was written by the Board of Selectmen from the town of Middleton, asking for permission to clear site distance on a turnaround that the town of Middleton needs to have to turn their plow trucks around through the winter months. I met with the road agent in the area of Gold Street at the Milton town line. I looked over what he was requesting. He wanted to clear the brush back about 15 feet off of the road, and there was two big maple trees that were right on the edge of the road that was blocking the distance, sight distance up the road. He wanted to remove those. The land that the brush and the trees were on are town-owned land. I gave them permission to clear the brush for safety reasons, because they were turning around there, and they would have to turn around there during a snowstorm or an ice storm. And I'm just here to update you on what took place there, and I was asked by the Public Works Director in Middleton if the Board of Selectmen would send a letter officially authorizing what we had discussed on the road that day.
But just for the guys that don't know out there on the board, was it several years ago, there was a school bus that was driven by a Milton school bus that actually tried to turn around or come around the corner and got hit. Because the visibility on that corner is that bad.
Yeah, you can't see anything until you get right into the corner there, so with the brush and those trees out of the way, that'll give them about 150 feet sight distance around that corner.
Make a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to, if Liz would be so kind, is to draft up a letter to send to the Milton Highway Department.
Yeah, the selectmen, yeah.
I'm sorry, the selectmen, allowing them to clear that brush for sight of vision.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What about the trees, Pat, the two trees?
Excuse me?
What about the two trees?
They're gonna take them down and remove them.
Okay.
They're gonna cut the slope back a little, there's a hump there with some brush on it. They're gonna cut the slope back and take the brush out of there, take the stumps out of there, and give them visibility around the corner so they don't get hit when they turn.
Okay, yes.
I'm pretty sure that the town of Middleton also plows a section of our road for us, so we don't have to run way over there, right?
No, it's Farmington.
Oh, it's Farmington does it? Another gift from Farmington.
Yep.
Working together with other towns is good.
Yeah, no, it is good. It really is. So, okay, up next, Conservation Commission and Casey Road Town Forest Committee. Discussion on use of the Casey Road property and functions of the Casey Road Town Forest Committee. So, I don't have the background information. When we created the Town Forest Committee for Casey Road to come up with their thoughts on what the usage could be on that piece of property, create a town forest and whatnot. And we haven't really seen too many reports come back on what that is. But then now we saw a warrant be put on the ballot to give it the conservation, no, I shouldn't say give it the conservation, put it in conservation easement. But we haven't seen any reports come back to the Board of Selectmen, saying this is what we decided, this is what we found.
Karen Goleb,
Okay.
the Forest Committee. What we first, I guess, initially have made major decision is we really don't want to pursue the town forest aspect because you fall under all kinds of state RSAs. So a lot of discussions, we've had Moose Mountain out there walking the property, we've walked the property, and I think one of the major decisions we have made in our proposing is that we pursue putting a conservation easement on the property. And so we wanted to start that process, and because of deadlines, we wanted to work with the Conservation Committee to put together that warrant article to put on the ballot. And make sure that the townspeople do in fact want to put a conservation easement on there.
Right.
Then we'll start.
I guess, and I'm not opposed to that, don't get me wrong, but my only concern is that the committee never came to the board and said, okay, this is what we're up against, and this is what we are planning on doing, this is what our thoughts were.
I think I was here like a month ago, wasn't I? A month or two ago?
Yeah, there was no, that's when there was the
It
difference.
was up in the air, I think, and I had to
Yeah.
explain the difference.
Yeah.
You guys, a decision had to be made. I explained between the two types of committees.
Right. So, I mean, it's just,
Yeah, I think it was 2 months ago.
I mean, I guess I'm the one asked to have the committee and the Conservation Commission come in here, because I was kind of set back when I saw it, I said, wait a minute, they haven't come to us and said what they want to do yet. What their thoughts were on this piece of property. So, I was just kind of blindsided by it.
Oh, I want to apologize for that. We're the Steve Panish Conservation Commission, so we're trying to leave as much of this to the Forest Committee, or whatever they decide their name is going to be, as possible. But it's been clear that because of the there's just a lot of bureaucratic overhead and restrictions associated with being an official town forest as is described under the state RSAs. But what there overwhelmingly seems to be a desire to do was preserve the property in a natural state for recreation and wildlife. So as such, the committee, not me, I haven't actually been to any of the meetings for quite a long time. That's what the committee has decided to do. And I think, it's a new committee, and they weren't on top. They didn't really know that they needed to keep the Board of Selectmen aware. And they did come to the Conservation Commission and told us what they wanted to do. And we said, well, if that's what you want to do, then you need to bring it to the town warrant. You need a warrant article for the adoption of a conservation easement on the property. And if you don't get it in now, then you're gonna have to wait a year.
right.
So that's kind of the reason that it all of a sudden went like that. And you got this warrant article, which was, actually uses language that was drafted by the New Hampshire Municipal Association, so it should be proper and states the proper
Mhm.
RSAs. And, so that's it.
Right.
Well, they were kind of silent about it, kind of late, but I think that might be the best use of that.
And that's, like I said, I have no, don't get me wrong, I'm not questioning that part of it, I'm just questioning the process to get to that part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, because, you know, like you said, there was some bureaucratic roadblocks, if you will. And that's what you should go back to, hey, wait a minute, we're hitting these and we don't know what to do. And, you know, we might have suggested at that time, go talk to the Conservation Commission. So, I mean, I don't want to speak for the board, but I think, I'm fine with, like I said, going conservation. I have no issue with that. I mean, that piece of property really can't be used for anything. I mean, it's the way it is. So I think I'm fine with it, and I think it'd be a great asset in that area, as long as it's not shut down, it can be used recreationally. So.
Yeah, and on the, I'm sorry, go ahead. And on behalf of the committee and Karen, being the selectman's rep, I did actually bring it up when you saw the warrant article, and I tried to explain it to Tom. Unfortunately, I don't think Mike was here that night, but I did try to explain, you know, the route, the avenue we were trying to go with it. So, I mean, I was here to try to explain, you know, what was going on. So, hopefully I.
Yeah, no, and like I said, I'm not opposed to it. I just, you know, it just seemed like Mike had said, they were silent for so long, and all of a sudden said, well, let's put it in conservation easement. So I mean, so it just kind of, there seemed to be a gap in between, in my eyes. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like I said, I just wanted to find out what happened.
Thanks, Karen.
Yeah,
You're
thank
welcome.
you.
Thanks, Steve.
That's why I didn't say thanks, Steve.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, we might as well go over the draft of the town warrant, because we got a 7 PM public hearing and we're ahead of schedule, so.
So you have an updated version that was in your
In the packet?
place seat when you came in tonight. Top right hand, yep,
I don't think I do.
yep. Nice little here.
Hmm?
Does it say up in the right hand?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. I was thinking about the recycling thing. My mistake. Cheers, man. I haven't seen it. No, that's that. Right here. Okay. Okay. This is to review and accept the town, excuse me, the town warrant. So you want me to read all these? Or?
It's up to you.
Wonderful.
There are, Article 1, I received
Yes.
the amendments.
Yeah.
Ms. Toma, on the warrant articles that I put forward, there was a warrant article for $20,000 for the Capital Reserve Trust under the Board of Selectmen for the library.
Article 6.
Yep.
And what I would like to do is I'd like to withdraw that $20,000 warrant article.
Okay.
And I would like to request that the warrant article for the Capital Reserve Fund for the library, under the trustees' authority,
Which is Article 7.
Right.
be raised to
25.
24,000.
24?
So that's different from what you told me
Yeah.
earlier
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, I kind of took it a little farther.
Okay, so you don't wanna, okay.
I
all
don't
right,
wanna,
got it.
I don't wanna put in a 20,000 article for the library. I can
Okay.
cover, I got the,
Disregard.
I got the final number for the
That's a
completion
nice-
of the second
after that.
phase this afternoon.
Yeah.
And the completion of the second phase total would be $39,700.
Huh?
He wants to get rid of 6 and amend Article 7 up to 24,000?
Right.
24, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
7.
Okay, and there was some, last Thursday, I sat and talked to the department heads, and there were some other changes that they were made, and we all know that Michelle has withdrew her 13,000, whatever the number was, 13 something. And she's gonna encumber that at the end of the year. I think she's gonna have enough money in the budget to do that. And on the town bridge one, which was
It's usually 40,000.
It's Article 5.
Article 5, usually is 40,000. There was some talk about lowering that to 20 this year, just to bring the money down. So, in doing that with what Pat just did, and this is what I just handed it to you, I did a spreadsheet comparing 2015 to 2016 proposed, and before today's discussion about the 24, total, including budget and warrant articles, we were $39,330 over last year. That's total, warrant articles and budget. With removing another $16,000 from that, it brings us down to like 23,330 over last year. So, and of course, this does not have the fire station yet. We don't have that number. Do we, Nick?
No, I called today. The bids are coming in. They're putting it together. They don't have everything together to find a number. He did say some of the major trades were coming in higher than the budget, so I didn't really like that, to be honest with you.
Right.
But it's going to be similar to the previous year's prices.
Okay.
And until I have all that, I don't want to put out a number that people are going to hold me to, because it's not going to be the real number.
All right. Well, do you know when that's going to be? Because we have to have a public hearing.
Yep. First week of January.
That might be too late.
When we have a public hearing.
I don't know, I gotta look at my worksheet. The first
day
meeting in January is the 4th.
For what do you mean, the first
pub-
meeting?
The public hearing that the budget committee will have on
Right.
this entire warrant is the
Okay.
14th.
Right.
We were told that it had to be in by the 7th, the day we all sat in here with Ekman Construction and the architect.
January 7th?
I don't know, I
Yeah.
told all the department heads December 31st.
Yeah.
We could put a placeholder number in there, but
The 7th is a Thursday.
Okay. Well, I'll check the calendar on the date, and if you can get with Liz tomorrow, find out what that date is, make sure we get in before that. Okay? So,
Well, a petition warrant article is January 12th.
Right.
This isn't a petition.
correct, that's a bond article. Yep.
Yeah, I think the bond is earlier.
So, if you can check the calendar tomorrow, and Nick will get with you and get that squared. All right. I'll read this. Article 1, to choose all necessary town officers for the ensuing year with which there are vacancies for such terms as may be permitted by law. Budget committee, 1 for 1 year, 2 for 3 years. Cemetery trustee, 1 for 3 years. Fire chief, 1 for 1 year. Library trustee, 1 for 3 years. Moderator, 1 for 2 years. Planning board, 2 for 3 years. Selectmen, 1 for 3 years. Supervisor checklist, 1 for 6 years. Town clerk tax collector, 1 for 3 years. Treasurer, 1 for 1 year. Trustees of trust funds, 1 for 3 years. Zoning board of adjustments, 1 for 2 years and 1 for 3 years. Those are the officers we're looking to fill this year again. So hopefully somebody's gonna see this online and they're gonna rush down and put the name in. Article 2. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the operating budget, not including appropriations by special warrant articles and other appropriations voted separately, the amounts set forth on the budget posted with the warrant or as amended by the vote of the first session, for the purpose of set forth therein totaling $189,455.25. Should this article be defeated, the default budget shall be $4,165,669.98, which is the same as last year with certain adjustments required by previous action of the town or by law, or the governing body may hold one special meeting in accordance with RSA 40:13, 10 and 16 to take up the issue of revised operating budget only. Majority vote required. Why don't we take them one at a time? The board want to recommend or not recommend this?
I'll recommend it.
Recommend it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Article 3. To see if town will vote to raise, this is the, yeah, this one we don't have the number on yet, so I'm gonna skip over that one. This is the fire station. Article 4. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $290,000 for highway and road reconstruction purposes. Said amount is partially offset by revenues from the highway block grant, estimated to be $110,000. This is an annual appropriation that provides for reconstruction of existing roadways. This appropriation will be non-lapse appropriation per RSA 32:7(6). It will not lapse until completed by December 31, 2017.
I'll recommend it.
Recommend it.
All in favor?
Yep.
Aye. This one here is for the Milton Bridges. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $40,000 to place in the Milton, Maine Bridge Capital Reserve account previously established. This is when we talked about possibly reducing this to $20,000.
What do we have in there now? I know
Hundred-
that it's gonna
hundred-
cover 5 bridges, I know.
117,000.
Yeah.
It's
We
117,000.
need to be at 170?
We need 140 plus, I think it's 15,000 in engineering fees for just the townhouse bridge. When it comes up on the list, it's on the list.
Right.
I mean, I'm just thinking about this year where everything hit so hard this year. Bring it down to 21 year and then if things look good, we can always,
All right, I'll recommend that, Tom.
20?
Yeah.
Andy?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, so we're gonna reduce that to 20. All in favor?
Aye.
Article 6 we have erased. That was for the $20,000, the highway department library maintenance expendable cost. Article 7, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $20,000. We changed that to $24,000 and place the Milton Free Public Library Capital Reserve Fund previously established. Majority vote required.
I'll recommend that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
But there is a question.
Mr. Brown?
Are we having a public hearing at 7 PM this evening?
Yes, not on this.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want any additional comment in this context regarding Article 7?
If you want to, go ahead.
That,
Make it quick.
Okay, see if the voice carries. Larry Brown, library trustee, and this is in terms of the value of the $24,000 being put into that capital reserve fund. On December 15th, we received another grant from LCHIP, the Land and Community Heritage Investment Program, in recognition of our important efforts to preserve New Hampshire's sense of place. This is the Milton Free Public Library Project 2, which will be matched up to $16,020 by funds from LCHIP. And it just emphasizes the tremendous work that has been done by Pat in getting contractors to work on the building, the quality of the contractors' work done, the shepherding and time and memory that John Catwick has put into it, and the bird dogging that the director of the library has put in, and Lori herself as a wonderful trustee in putting these funds together. We are paying 50 cents on the dollar to preserve one of the best historic buildings we have.
Well said. I agree.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Larry. Article 8, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $20,000 placed in the Milton Highway Department Truck Capital Reserve Fund previously established. And this is for the, not the one ton, but the
Pickup truck.
pickup trucks. What do we get in now, you know?
I think it's 20,
Yeah.
or just maybe just under, right around there.
Recommend, not recommend?
I recommend it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Article 9, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of 90,000,
19.
excuse me, let me start over, I read that wrong, wow. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $19,837 to fund the proposed step plan, pay plan for employees in the Highway Department, Solid Waste Department, Government Buildings Department. Majority vote required.
Highly recommend.
Andy?
Highly recommended.
Okay. For those of you who remember, this is very similar to what we've done to the police department a few years back, and hopefully we can get the same type of results. Article 10. Will the town vote to authorize the establishment of an expendable trust fund to be known as the Town of Milton Cemetery Expendable Trust Fund, with the cemetery trustees as the agents to expend, and further to accept the existing funds associated with the Milton Mills Cemetery Association into this Town of Milton Cemetery Expendable Trust Fund? Majority vote required.
Recommend.
I recommend that. All in favor?
Question.
Sure.
John Catwick, where are we at with the Prospect Hill Cemetery in Lebanon over there?
It's in the legal hands
Is it still?
still.
Article 11. Will the town vote to raise and appropriate $10,000 for the operating expenses of the cemetery trustees for 2016? Said operating expenses will be reimbursed from the town Milton Cemetery Expendable Trust Fund. Should this warrant article pass, operating expenses will be included in the operating budget annually beginning in 2017.
Recommend.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do you mind if I explain that so
Sure.
everybody understands exactly what these two warrant articles mean? What it means is that the money that's in the accounts for the Milton Mills Cemetery, after we transfer it, legally, we don't need to put a warrant article up to
Right.
vote to have that land transferred to the town of Milton. That can be done by the Board of Selectmen. Number two, the Cemetery Expendable Trust Fund is being developed to transfer the funds for the Milton Mills Cemetery Association to this fund. And we're budgeting the $10,000 a year to pay the operating expenses, like it says, throughout the year. At the end of the year, whatever that amount is will be withdrawn from this Cemetery Expendable Trust Fund, pay the town back. So again, the cemetery is self-sufficient.
Right.
This is the way we have to handle it legally.
Thank you, John. Article 12, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 for commercial, we talked about this, and I interjectly, I think Pat was the one brought, commercial grade seating. Instead of just, because it says commercial seating. So commercial grade seating for the playground and basketball court at the Milton Town Beach to be placed in the Milton Recreation Department Capital Reserve Fund previously established.
Recommend.
And I'd just like to say something to Article 12, being a selectman's rep. We have a wonderful playground down there, but we've gotten numerous, people coming forward saying that there's actually really no place to sit down. So that's really what we're trying to do. If it passes, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. But it would be really nice to see some nice seating down there.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Article 13.
Oh, Tom, I'm sorry.
Mr. Brown, sorry. I'm on a roll.
A question on the commercial grade seating. Years ago, there was a beer company that had a commercial that said, brewed with a quality of consistency, and the joke was, yep, bad, every time. Is there a definition of commercial grade?
It's not a 2x4.
Something that'll stand up
Yeah,
better than,
I mean,
you know,
it's just-
buying benches at Lowe's or Home Depot.
I'm sure there is. I mean, if you're asking me what it is, I don't know.
There is, we,
Got it.
you could go down and see Karen, she'd show you,
Neat, thank you.
so.
Article 13, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $500 to be placed in the Milton Townhouse Capital Reserve Fund previously established. Recommend?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
14, to see if the town will approve pursuant to RSA 31:9 and RSA 149-M17 revisions to its solid waste facility and mandatory recycling ordinance as recommended by the Board of Selectmen. Majority vote required.
Recommend.
All in favor? Aye. To see if the town will vote pursuant to RSA 8085 to retain for public start over, Tom. To see if the town will vote pursuant to RSA 8085 to retain for public uses certain property received by the town by tax deed, said property being map 41, lot 69, and by the recorded minor subdivision plan number 33 to 39 dated 11/19/1987. The property consists of 700. Please bear with me. I'm under the weather
He's not
today.
feeling
I'm not
well.
feeling well at all. I'm just hanging on. The property consists of 73.4 acres and is located on a Class 6 portion of Casey Road. In addition to vote to place a conservation easement on the property, such easement to be held by a qualified conservation organization.
Recommend.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wow. And to transact any other business that may legally come before this meeting.
Good job.
Wow, that was tough.
All you gotta do is ask me, I would've read them.
Not.
Gee, thanks for, offering now.
We're just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Okay, we still have 10 minutes before the public hearing. Well, no, actually, we got a couple more things we can either do the loader bid openings, we got 10 minutes, or we can do the sewer department abatement. Well, both. Let's do the loader bid openings. We have bid openings to get rid of our old loader,
Unload it, mean?
unload our loader. The first one is from Boston Hill Fence, North Andover, Massachusetts. And their highway department bid $26,500. This bid is for 2003 Caterpillar 924G with bucket forks, spare tires, new tranny, and blown engine. And it's from Lansing Leland. You guys want to see them or no? Okay. The next one. Abbott Equipment Sales. We want to submit a bid for the following items: 2003 Cat 924G, 26,959, from Karen Abbott, President.
What's it then, 23?
26,959.99.
26,9.
959.99. This one is from Dick's Used Trucks and Equipment LLC, out of Chelsea, Maine. Oh, I know there was a Chelsea, Maine. Chelsea, Maine. Bid on Cat 924G loader, $21,630. And those are the three bids we have for it.
So I can forward you copies of these for your decision at the next
Yep.
meeting.
Yep. If you could do that, just kind of lay them out, that'd be good.
Sure.
Okay. We have one more thing to, sewer department abatement,
Selling the transmission.
what's that?
Nothing, sorry.
Oh, what cost of transmission, yeah, that's all we're getting back, if anything.
That's all we're selling is the transmission. They
Yeah.
get a freeloader with it.
Yeah. Sewer department abatement approval, 24 Silver Street, do we have anything on this right there?
Yep, and the way it was described to me by the land use clerk is that this is a tax deeded property and the bill should never have gone out because it actually went to the town.
Oh. Yeah, why would we send the bill to ourselves?
I'm sure it was just an error.
Yep. Need a motion to approve the abatement in the amount of $115.50.
I'll make that motion, so said. So said.
All in favor? Aye. Mike? Okay. Well, I think we're gonna take a little bit of a recess right now then. Until 7 o'clock. It's like, 7 minutes away. Yes. Can you hit pause or something?
But that's it. You need to laugh. Whose idea?
No.
Yeah, but
Hey, I need some back.
Have it?
now.
You watered
it?
We haven't awarded it to anybody yet.
What are you gonna do?
Next meeting.
Well, next meeting we're gonna look at it, yeah.
So what was the average bid?
26,959.
I mean, why are
Because
we didn't?
legally it's recommended or preferred so that the bids can be reviewed to make sure they're up to
We
specs.
didn't go with Leo, so.
That's right,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
the bids are up to specs.
Let's go
They
look.
should have. I think it was on the next agenda, but
Cut 'em way down.
I'm fine. That's a no-brainer.
I agree.
But you know, they have to be reviewed to make sure they meet the bid specs and that they qualify. Technically, they're supposed to do for any
We
bid.
wanna make sure we're technical.
You wanna make sure you're doing it correctly.
Right. I
Yeah.
agree.
Hey, Lou, you leaving?
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Suzanne is around tomorrow. She wanted to see the cups. That's her yarn. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm not giving it to you.
No, those blues are.
Oh, yeah. Still running, so.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think I'll probably put something.
I wanna bring the check down.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. You want a copy of the letter from them too?
Yes, that would be great. Yep, thank you.
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
thanks.
All right, have a good evening.
Read the minutes, oh, they haven't been out yet.
Have a good night, Karen. Christmas.
You too.
Silver Street.
See it go. No, what are you gonna do?
I can't get any more.
No, I'd be afraid not to take it.
Yep, I know.
Everybody walks away from the table, okay, that's mine.
Well, and then we sort of have to sort it because we said we would. Put this money back in the general fund.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah, we did promise.
We did.
Oh, I don't know if he is or not.
You should.
Man,
Oh, you got it online.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Mr. Chairman, when you go back on public records, can you just make a correction to Mr. Coogan's statement that there's a CIP committee There is no CIP committee in the town of Milton. It's just the department heads working on it in our time.
Yep, I will do that.
Thank you.
Because, I was voted last meeting for the planning board to be that committee.
It's the planning board that does that job.
Yep.
We're just working on the document.
Right.
Tony, do you have a?
I will do that.
this in your folder? This,
Thank you.
Got it.
Yep.
this-
Good catch.
It's for public hearing. Or, you can have this. Okay. It's up there.
Some water. Move that.
Oh, Betsy.
Tell you, Larry, I received a Christmas card today from Liz with some of your wife's beautiful work.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I have one
That-
I
that
think is the best one.
Drawing
that
that
I've
library
ever
on that
done.
card
It's
was,
called Science Wars.
I mean,
Oh.
And it's,
The drawings are
it's by a
nice.
philosopher.
What is really
One in
amazing
New York State.
is
No,
when
he's at
she does
Lafayette.
an etching,
Lafayette
which
University.
is
It's
a recognizable.
It's actually considerably more difficult to listen to than any of the other courses, so-called courses that I've listened to, but it's really good.
So what makes it
Left.
difficult? Is it his accent or is it?
Right.
No,
Okay, that's-
material is more difficult, and he
Right.
speaks fast.
my other left.
He doesn't take
Yeah.
one point and beat it to
You're
death by
other-
saying the
you're
same
other
thing
No, I
14
mean-
times in a row.
But,
He really moves through his
they were
material,
remarkable.
and there's a lot of it. And
and
it's very interesting.
what she,
I
what
think
she
it's more
will say
interesting than the
from
later books. It's something like,
all you have to do is get the first line of the
I think it's 11
Wow.
discs. 12
Has she been
discs.
that talented for,
And he moves,
She's hardly,
but he speaks well, but he speaks
Yeah.
fast.
her mother was.
Should I put that on our
remarkable
list?
in her gymnastics.
I'm sure you would like it.
And from the time that
Honestly, I
Suzanne
don't-
was
I don't
6
know.
years old,
I think it's
she
good.
started drawing.
If you want, I can lend you one.
I would love to listen to it, yes.
Well, it's my father's, so I can't.
Oh, yeah.
But if I can give you one of its images after that.
All right, going to reconvene the meeting. You all set to go? It's not a committee, it's just department heads working on their own time, putting in some hard work to make this happen. The official CIP committee is the planning board. So, just wanted to clarify that. With that being said, it runs us up to 7 o'clock for our public hearing for the where are we? Solid waste recycling facility. Milton Board of Selectmen will be holding a public hearing on December 21, 2015, 7 p.m. in Milton Town Hall, 424 White Mountain Highway, Milton, New Hampshire. The purpose of the public hearing is to receive public input on the proposed amendments to the solid waste facility and mandatory recycling ordinance. The proposed amendments are housekeeping in nature. A copy of the proposal is available at the Public Works Director's office and the Town Administrator's office. So, yeah, so we're gonna go over what the amendments are, then we're gonna open up to the public. So if you wanna go over what,
Sure, yep. So there were some copies over there to be shared by the. So you have in your packets, this, anything that's highlighted is a proposed amendment. So on the cover sheet, the amendment date would be updated.
There's one right up there.
yeah, let's go grab a couple of them.
Thanks, bud.
So that's basically it on the cover sheet. Going to page 2, the index, as you go
Any
down.
more up there, or?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
I'll get it.
I didn't know you didn't have
Oh,
it.
I
Sorry,
didn't
Tom.
know.
That's all right.
Liz, do you mind just starting over again?
Sure.
Thank you, because we didn't have it when you
That's
said
right.
it. I appreciate
So on,
it, thank
yep,
you.
you're welcome. On the cover sheet, you'll see, basically towards the bottom, the amendment date would be updated to the approval date at town meeting. Turning the page to page 2, the index, as you go down, you'll see section 10, recycling committee, that would be removed because there is no recycling committee, that was abolished years ago. And then at the bottom, you'll see everything from section 10 down would then be renumbered once that deletion was made. Page 3, near the top, the first sentence, the ampersand would be removed and the word "and" would go in its place, because that is the true title that's on the cover.
Mhm.
Going down to the last paragraph, the RSA numbers have been updated. And then on the next to the last line, the ampersand would be removed and the word "and" would be added. Going to page 4, section
At the
1.
bottom, Board of Selectmen and Town of Milton, has that can be.
Yeah, yeah. And same thing on the top of page 4, that 1993 date would be removed. Section 1.01, the RSA has been updated. Section 1.02, it currently lists the ordinance in section 1.02 as the Milton landfill ordinance, and that's not the correct title. So that would be removed and it would be replaced with the Milton solid waste facility and mandatory recycling ordinance. Going down to the center of the page, section 2.01, small letter C, those capital letters would be put into regular letters. And the address would be updated. The address is not off Route 125, the address is 803 White Mountain Highway, Milton, New Hampshire. Page 5, letter I, that entire section of letter I, the two lines would be removed because the transfer station does not accept sewage. Going down to the bottom of page 5, section 3:02, and then that continues over to the next page. That would all be removed because the transfer station does not govern private companies who collect garbage. That's it for page 6. There's nothing on page 7 that's changing. Page 8, section 8.01, the title of that first paragraph is being changed to the fee schedule because that's what that section is about, the fee schedule. And then the next to the last line of that first paragraph, it's not the landfill, it's the transfer station. That's the proper title of the facility. Then going down to the actual fee schedule, that first line that's crossed out, fees subject to change without notice, that's being removed because that is a false statement because the selectmen must give notice and have a public hearing on any fee change in this ordinance. And then going down the list, washer, dryer, stove, that's been removed because, as was mentioned previously, those items apparently would go into the metal pile. So there's no charge for those. And then going down a little bit further, those old dates would be removed. Section 8.02 has a title now. It didn't have a title before. And the title is Fee Schedule Amendments. The next sentence will be removed, and that sentence reads, the Public Works Director's Office, where the above fees may be paid, is open weekdays from 10 to 3. Well, the fees are paid up at the transfer station, not in the Public Works Director's office, so that's being removed. And it's being replaced with the Board of Selectmen have the authority to approve changes in the fee schedule in accordance with RSA 41-9, A. The last paragraph on page 8, section 9.02, the RSA has been amended, updated. Page 9, section 9.03, the title of the facility is capitalized, where it wasn't before. And then section 10, the recycling committee, that entire section is being removed because there is no recycling committee. As I said earlier, it was abolished years ago. On the bottom of that page, section 12.01, there is the second, well, I guess it would be the first sentence, but it's the first, second, and third line that would be removed and replaced with the highlighted section. So the full sentence would read, "This ordinance may be amended by warrant article at the legislative body's annual town meeting. For amendments to the fee schedule, refer to section 8. And then page 10, the undersigned members of the Board of Selectmen, and then add in as the governing body, because you are the governing body, and get rid of that old approval date, and the new approval date would go in there. And then, of course, the updated signature blocks would be done. That's it.
Okay.
All housekeeping.
Yep, well, open up to the public now, public comments. Mr. Catwick?
I see a thing here I recommend we change due to the discussions we've had throughout the year at the Board of Selectmen's meetings.
Which is?
Permit sticker $5, public sticker per vehicle $5. Page 8.
Thank you. There we go. Permit sticker $5.
Mhm.
Per vehicle.
Yeah. And where they
If I
get?
buy a sticker for my truck, can I come in with my SUV?
No.
Yeah. No, I see what John says.
Cat's
Per ve-
on his
We had a
head.
discussion
Yeah.
a couple of times during the meeting.
Yep. Nope.
throughout the year.
I agree. Per
Does-
permit sticker per vehicle, $5.
So do you, the board wants me to add that? It would certainly help, I think, with some people who are confused about that.
Yep, good catch, John. Anyone else? Steve?
So what is the fee for whiteware? Washer, dryer, stove has been removed.
Free.
It's free?
Yeah, that goes in the metal bin. It's metal.
And I have a related comment, which is that there was an article in the Grand State News last week which related the tale of how the town of Wakefield basically came to the town of Milton's transfer station people to get advice because they had found that it was the best functioning transfer station of any that they had investigated, and apparently they investigated quite a few. So these guys are doing a good job, and I just want to acknowledge that.
That man right back there in the green shirt.
Yeah, I know. I can't turn that.
Good. Does a great job.
Fluorescent.
Yes. See, I don't think you got to notice the camera's facing the other way. Otherwise, it would have was something different. Mr. Brown?
A small question. Next time around, when the fees change and go down, does the entire booklet have to be presented, or can we just
Amend that section?
amend and bring it forward as Section 8?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
that section. The governing body has the authority to change just that section. And then the legislative body has the authority for everything else.
So when the fees go up, we can kill fewer trees?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone else? Mr. Kraus? Chief Kraus?
I guess this is just informational for me. Section 9, enforcement. 9.1, the Board of Selectmen, any official board or employee authorized by the Board of Selectmen shall be responsible for enforcement of this ordinance. How are we currently enforcing the violations of this? Does the town have some type of civil hand summons that they give to the violator, and then the violator comes into town hall to pay it? How are we dealing with this?
We have written warnings that the Board of Selectmen has sent out in the past to the offenders at the transfer station. We've
So
had
the-
some that had come before the board
Right.
after they've received written warning to contest it.
It doesn't say, it says enforcement of the ordinance, not violations.
Well, enforcement of the ordinance, and then on the back, it says in 9.2, says any alleged violator may avoid the issuance of a summons or complaint by voluntary payment of fine in the amount determined by the Board of Selectmen. The following is a list of authoritative penalties. First is a written warning, second is
Right.
$5, third is $50, fourth is $500, and fifth is up to $3,000.
Those are in the state statute.
Right. But my question is, how are these?
We're doing it by phone call right now, right?
That's what my
If-
question is, how are these being issued out? Because if it does come to the summons and complaint to criminal court, that warrant would either have to be issued by one of my officers or would have to go through
Civil court, wouldn't
a
it be
member of this
civil?
Board of Selectmen that would have to go down and file the complaint themselves.
Pat?
It would be the same as an animal violation in town. The initial violations for an animal complaint are civil in nature and are paid here at town hall. If the person does not pay it within a 15-day period, then my officers have to write a criminal warrant, and it goes down as a violation level offense
Right.
to the court, and they are heard in court, in district court level.
So this has been in here for, decades. Do you know how it's been handled in the?
I've never had to do any of that. I think we've sent out 1 or 2 warnings in the whole time I've been here.
Right.
Yeah.
But I
We've
would
had-
think probably handled the same way as,
What we have is we have theft of services that we call the police department. Luther then gives the plate number and the name of the person. They then go out and have the person either come back and take care of it, or they get charged for theft of services. We've had one or 2 cases of that
right.
in the past couple of years.
And there have been some instances of people refusing to get a sticker, if I'm correct, and they have been informed that they cannot
Right.
come back until they get a sticker, so that was handled more on a civil level.
We try to handle everything we can at our level. I mean, if it gets out of hand, then we call in the police department.
Brown?
2 things. Can any person not having a vehicle use the recycling center?
Recycling center?
Yeah, you have to have a sticker on your forehead, Larry.
We won't talk about the number.
That's a very good question.
Thank you, that's always been my problem. The other one is, I remember, it must be about 3 years ago, that Jim found 2-foot lengths of heavy insulation in black bags. Did that become a criminal prosecution?
No.
It did not?
No.
Did not, okay.
Anyone else? Public comment?
Well, to go back to that, Mr. Chairman, the town, if we are going to ever have to move forward to the prosecution of failure to abide by this ordinance, the town should have some type of format that gives people their notification, and the documentation of that is notified. And it's probably better if it's done at the time of the offense instead of whenever the meeting comes for the selectmen to
Right.
have their meeting, formally write their letter, and then send out the warning.
Right.
Which can be done by a civilian employee. The animal control officer would be the same, Luther
Right,
would probably
that's-
be the same avenue as our civilian animal control officer writing that summons. It doesn't have to be a certified person until it goes to the court level. But an issuance of that warning can be done by a civilian employee at the transfer center. The town just has to come up with some type of warning form and some type of complaint form that documents and notifies the offender of the violation in which they've committed.
Okay. Do you have ideas on what that form should look like?
I can show you one of our motor vehicle summonses, which you could remove some of the things on our motor vehicle warnings. That also allows you to check off a box on the bottom and write in the ordinance that's a violation of.
Okay, yeah, if you could do that, that'd be good. Something like that to us. Because, like Pat says, we really never had to go that far.
But
I'm not saying we won't, but we never had to in the past.
it also saves the Board of Selectmen a step of having to write a formal letter to someone
Right.
saying, here's your formal written warning, if this continues, then we're gonna jump to the violations. It's dealt with.
Good, then you get the calls now.
Well, no, but it's dealt with on an employee level.
Right.
And now, if the violation, if the $5 fine for the second offense has to be issued out, it can be issued out when the violation occurs, instead of a month later, we're sending them a letter saying, by the way, you owe the town $5. Because at a month later, how much have we spent in man hours? How much have we probably spent in paper documentation just to fine somebody $5?
Right.
When it can be dealt with on a singular at time
Also, a
basis.
month later, it's not as fresh in everybody's mind, so, yeah. Good point. So, yeah, if you can get that to Liz, or I get it to us, and we can modify it in some way to make it work. So. Anyone else? Not hearing any. Anything back here? Nope. I'm gonna close the public hearing. And this will go to the voters in March. So, up next, approval of minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
I will make a motion. Tom, are you all set?
Yeah, I'm all set, yep.
Okay, on the December 7th, 2015 regular meetings, I will make a motion to accept and approve.
I'll second that motion. All in favor? Aye.
And we really only have, on the non-public, on the December 7th, 2015 non-public.
We've got a November 5th also that we didn't have last time, that's right.
Oh, you're right, we do. I had that right here, I'm sorry.
That's right, you want to do the,
Yeah, on the, oh yeah, November 5th, I apologize, right here. On the November 5th, non-public session, do you want to seal those? as
we
written?
already did that. We
So-
did that.
So, so we're all set on those
Yeah.
minutes?
Just make a motion to accept them as written and sealed.
Yeah, so said.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
And then on the December 7th, non-public meeting minutes, I will make a motion to approve the minutes as written and seal them.
And sealed, I think we already did those.
As
Yep,
previously.
yeah, as previously sealed, yep.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
I'm gonna pass these down to Mr. Russell, please.
Thank you.
Expenditure reports, how we look? Looking good? Okay. Administrative comments?
I do have some.
Okay.
So one of the full-time firefighters gave his notice today. Joshua Byron.
Yeah.
His last day of employment will be December 31st.
Want to be a motion to accept his resignation?
I'll make the motion to accept Joshua Byron's, resignation with the rep. What happened? Did he just gone someplace
He had an
else?
Yeah.
opportunity in Somersworth, and it was a better opportunity, and I don't blame him at all. He's gonna stay on as a part-time call member, so we don't lose him, but he just won't be with us full-time.
Okay, thank you.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Good.
Aye.
It was short-lived,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
The next item is, the selectmen's report for the town report.
Yeah.
Anything you want changed in it? I emailed it out to you guys a week ago.
It looked good to me. All right.
That looked good.
Okay, I'll submit it. The next item is, has to do with the Conservation Commission and the money that is owed to them from the current use issue years ago.
Right.
The balance is $25,000. I
Right.
checked with our finance director. It's sitting out there in the general fund in the due to, due from section. Do
Right.
you wanna pay it off?
25,000?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what we
so-
did last
yeah.
year. 50,000 2 years before that or
Yeah,
something.
and that'll clean us up?
That, with them, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then next year, we can start on the ambulance fund.
Yep, might as well. I mean, it's up to the board, but
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
just,
Real quick in reference to that, at some point, when it comes time to buy a new ambulance, which may not be 4 years from now, a lot of that money is gonna be needed at that point. So $25,000 a year may not work. But I'll let you know when that time comes.
okay. We'll talk.
Yeah.
The next item is,
Looks like credit's no good here, huh?
Yeah.
so is, has to
Tells
do
really how you feel.
Right,
with the IRS and payroll taxes.
yeah,
So we received a letter from the IRS that the town of Milton was in violation of paying the weekly payroll tax to the IRS in a timely fashion. We have proof to show that it was paid on time, in fact, early each week, as has been done for years. So, based on the recommendation of our contracted finance director, the bookkeeper contacted our auditors. You know, when you have a problem with the IRS, you contact your accountant.
oh,
So
yeah.
we did that. I signed a power of attorney, which authorizes them to deal with the IRS on the town's behalf, and they have sent in documentation and a letter to the IRS disputing their claim. And I'll let you know when we find out what happens. There is a quarterly penalty. They're saying it's the second and third quarter of 2015 that this was done, and the penalty fee for each quarter is a little over $3,000.
Okay,
The next item is, some of you may know, some of you may not know, I'm not sure. It has to do with vacation accruals, and the cap for vacation accruals. And it would be much easier for the bookkeeper in the software system to do as most other municipalities do, which is to have the accrual cap expire on December 31st instead of each person's anniversary date throughout the year. So you should have in your packet a proposed amendment to the current vacation section in the employee handbook, which states that, which is letter I.
mhm. How is this gonna affect the employees as far as their vacation time?
It's actually gonna be beneficial to the employees well, I can think of one person right off the bat as an example. Every fall this happens. whatever their date is, their anniversary date during the year, they still continue to accrue beyond that date, even if they're over their cap. You get to the end of December, and the cap is lowered to what the policy states is the allowed cap. So everything in this proposal is the same as it currently is in the vacation section, with the exception of the cap date, the accrual date. It's too cumbersome for the bookkeeper to do, and it's not normally done like that as far as the accrual cap date.
No, I mean, I agree, it's not that way where I
Yeah.
work. It's
Yeah, it's
exactly what you
fair,
just
it's
said.
I mean,
clear and concise and fair and even,
Mhm.
I mean, we did the same thing with increases and things, just to get a date certain.
exactly, yeah. Oh, and I did add, if you'll see letter K, I did add that in while I was working on this. So that is a second amendment, which is that when somebody, which is what is done now. When somebody is going to take a vacation day, they fill out a form, it gets approved by the department head and is forwarded to the bookkeeper.
Okay.
So I'm just looking for approval.
I'll make that approval.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That's all I have for open session.
Okay. Selectmen comments, Andy?
Really, the only thing I have is, I know, you know, we had our last budget meeting with the school, and budget season is very tough. And I just want to thank all the department heads for doing a good job this year with their budgets. And I want to thank the budget committee for all the hard work they've done in the past 3 weeks. That's really all I have there. And I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
It would be the same.
Yeah.
Committee, so that's what we're gonna put on.
Yep. We're good. Anything else to add to that, no?
Nope.
Nope.
There's as many meetings, no, I mean,
That's true.
DC meetings, I know first, well, I don't
Yeah.
have a first meeting.
Yeah, I don't have it myself.
The police department's been working, Swiss watch. Andrea is due to go back on full-time duty next week, I believe it is.
January, the 1st of January.
Yeah.
Nice.
The only thing I will say is I want to thank Lori for the grant that she just got for the library. This is the second time that we've been awarded that grant. It's a huge asset. Like Larry was saying, we're paying 50 cents on a dollar, and I want to really thank her for all her hard work. And Pat and John Cadwick for everything they've done at the library.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, in line with that, if it's okay.
Public comments is next. You're up, John.
In line with that, the grant writing today is so complex. Every year it changes. And with Lori's talents for getting this last one, superb job.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, that building has come in
So far.
such a long
So
ways.
far.
I mean, seeing it a couple of years ago, it was in shambles. And to look at it today, it's phenomenal. So
And I'll just add to that, Betsy Baker, Milton Free Public Library Director, that there is a possibility we can be done with all of the punch list on the engineering report next year, except for maybe the asphalt on the outside.
That's nice.
But we've done, over 3/4
Yeah.
as it is.
I mean, that's nice. I remember when you first come forward with that list, you know, SAU and the library trustees, you know, we came first forward with that list, and looking at, we're thinking to ourselves, how are we gonna accomplish that? But it just shows people put their mind to it and put the work to it. It's done.
and people care.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
townspeople.
So,
So-
Well,
Awesome.
and it also goes to the whole idea of everybody working together.
Right.
It wouldn't have gotten done if we all just sat back and fought over our own little kingdoms.
Correct. That's absolutely right. And there's proof of that in town-wide. I'm seeing proof that this year town-wide. All department heads, you know, John, with everybody working together and trying to make things happen. So, proof is in the pudding. And this year we've had a lot of pudding. So anyone else? Public comments? Mr. Brown, thank you. That was good. I didn't see a hand. I thought, boy.
Oh, well, I don't like to poach on other people's comments. Lori has done 3 grants for the library. And the other grant I wanted to mention is the New Hampshire Farm Museum has gotten a grant for foundation work on the original Plummer, the big White House, for foundation work on that building, and that goes back a full 110 years before the library, and that will do work on the foundation. We've gotten a grant for the roofing. Chimney work is being done on the Jones barn, on the Jones L. So you will see that, and it is just, if you don't know where you have been, it's hard to know who you are and what you're doing. And it's just a wonderful thing for that community spirit and sense of place.
I agree. I totally agree. John, I have a question for you. Now, Larry just reminded me of the town pound. Any new word on that?
The only word that I'm aware of is waiting for John Coward to get a 3rd quote.
Okay.
I hope I answered that okay.
You did. Yeah, I just,
Hold on.
yeah.
Of course, the next step is financial.
Right. Oh, I know.
I don't know whether we can work together, like develop a group to maybe do some fundraisers, and maybe if we take the lowest bidder so far, maybe we can make
Yeah.
it work. Something we can talk about.
Yeah, something we gotta talk about, at least get some numbers and, you know, find out what we guys aim for.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, that-
very important when we do that.
Yeah, because that's an important part of the history as well,
Oh, yeah.
that town pound.
That and schoolhouse.
Yep, schoolhouses too. Agreed. We got a lot of nice historical buildings in this town that
Certainly do.
need attention, so. Anyone else, public comments? Mr. Dwayne?
I got one question. It's not really being worthy, but as far as this recording, we're down to 2 people doing this. Is anybody doing anything to recruit anybody else? It's just me, basically me and Tom Dougal now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
Anybody contacted the scouts? Yeah.
I know we got 5 or 6 people on the mailing
yes,
list.
the scouts have been, the
Yeah.
school has been, it's on our website.
I'm
Scoop-
not sure if I'm this much longer.
Yeah.
Up any
We appreciate what you're doing for us. Yeah.
school?
Yeah, the only one student came forward, but there seems to be quite a few scheduling conflicts with that particular student to come here.
So again, the same.
Yeah,
Saying me
Yeah.
and Tom.
Yeah.
And that, and you turn around, and very few meetings aren't even getting recorded because of it. I can't be here more than once, and Tom really can't
Right,
be here more
right.
than once a week.
I would like to make a recommendation.
Yes.
Get a hold of the Boy Scouts,
The who?
the Boy Scouts.
We've already
We did.
approached them and asked them about it. The Eagle Scouts when they were here?
more than
Yeah.
once, actually.
Yeah, we've already asked them and said they'd mention it at their meetings, but they haven't got no takers yet.
Huh. Give me another call.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to hire someone.
That's the thought too.
Something to think about maybe for next year. I don't know.
I mean, 'cause that's critically important to have this meetings recorded. All right, we'll have to turn the heat up on that again and see if we can reach out all around town. Anybody knows anybody? Anybody that's here? Anybody watching this on YouTube, on streaming? If you know somebody that wants to volunteer time to run the recorder, please speak up. We need help. We have 2 people doing it now, and they're doing their best to try to keep up, but their schedules are getting strapped as well. So,
Yeah, I mean,
if anybody here knows anybody, or anybody out there in YouTube streaming land knows anybody, please step up.
there's a lot of people that live in town that actually watch this.
Yep.
And we have 2 people doing it.
Yeah.
So it really,
It's not fair.
it's not fair.
No.
So,
And greatly appreciated.
yeah,
It really is.
most definitely.
No, it really is. I mean, so. Okay. We'll keep reaching. So, thanks, Dennis. Any other public comments? Larry, your hand was that far from being up.
I am the wrong person to badmouth technology. But if there's anything that Dennis would like to say about that machine, speak up.
No, I'll keep it good. It's temperamental.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. I guess I'm going to close the public comments. And we have to go back into non-public, so I'm going to make a motion, go back into non-public.